Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to today's edition of FBI African Show. My name is Chichi Wabusi Obinya, CEO Chichi Quintessentials. Today with me, I have two very wonderful personalities, two outstanding women in our time. Her Majesty Queen Nadia Harahiri and Anemin Perrin. Now, Her Majesty Queen Nadia is currently the world's president of Aida Donald Norrie, ADN France, and the Pro-Chancellor of Rockfield College of Management in Switzerland. She is also the president of CID Africa and a honorable member of the First Ladies Club in France. Welcome on board, Queen Nadia.
Thank you so much.
We're glad to have you.
Me.
Thank you, thank you. We are so happy to have you on today's show.
Thank you.
And Anemin Perrin, you're welcome to this edition of the FBI African Show.
Thanks very much. Happy to be here.
Now, viewers, I want you to understand the peculiarity of our today's discourse. We want to talk about how the world has evolved in this pandemic. My two guests are educationists. They have passion for the educational sector. Anemin Perrin is the CEO and founder of Digital Skills Foundation, an organization that provides digital literacy to all people through the Digital Skill Passport. She's also the CEO of iDevelop, a global educational solution for Africa. Being active also, she advises at the French Public Services on competitiveness and directions to take in the educational sector. So today's discussion will be very, very important to everybody, the whole world, not just Africa per se, because we've gone past Africa. And it's a global situation we are in. This pandemic has eaten deep into the world, and we want to have this discussion so that people would listen, people will get ideas and tips on how to keep the educational sector flowing, because our children, the youths, they've sat at home for too long and it cannot continue like that. So that's the very essence of this interview. And my two guests, Her Majesty Queen Nadia and our IT guru, Anemin Perrin, will help us look into so many things. They will give us share insight on how to go about so that the educational sector does not go to sleep for so long. Welcome on board once more, Queen Nadia.
Sorry.
Welcome on board once more, Perrin. My first question will be for both of you. You will answer, Queen Nadia will answer first, and Perrin will go second. Now, before we talk about the present and the future, what was it like for you growing up, and how did it influence who you are today? Queen Nadia.
Yes. When I was young, I didn't know that I will develop this passion for humanity. I didn't even know what I will become, you know. And slowly, I opened my heart to the people I have seen around me. And I have discovered so many suffering. And I wanted to participate, but I didn't know how. So I hope I understood very well the question. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it right.
I hope I understood very well the question. C'est exactement ce qu'elle a dit.
C'est exactement ça ce qu'elle a dit. Oui.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, I was looking at the world and I didn't know exactly what I will become, in fact. And but the only thing that I had within me, it was the love that I have for people. And I was feeling their suffering. I was feeling what they were feeling, in fact. So but I didn't know how. I was very happy when I was looking at the media that some NGOs around the world were participating and helping people, etc. It was really giving me big joy. And but later I understand that I have this mission within me, and I don't know what else.
Thank you so much. I understand what you're trying to say. Your passion grew out of the necessity.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. Now, Perrin.
Yeah. So what it was like for me when I was growing up?
Yes, what it was like for you, and how did your growing up influence who you actually are today?
Okay, so I've grown up in the Netherlands. I'm Dutch, actually, from first nationality. I'm French these days. I have a great husband, who's French, so that helps. I think growing up in the Netherlands and having parents that were very open-minded, we've always seen different people from different continents, different approaches. I think there was never a no. You could always have yes. You have no, you can get a yes. And I think that gray area of just negotiation, of trying, of seeing things, of trying to understand people and everything has been one of the reasons that I'm quite successful, I would say, or not even successful. I actually like and love what I'm doing with people. I like to understand people. I like to go out with people. I like to help people. And I actually have a passion for making an impact.
Wow, that's great to hear. Ambassador Perrin, you have shown tremendous courage and resilience in your fight against illiteracy in Africa. What within you give you that power?
I think this is great. So I've got a new title, which is called ambassador. I'm not an ambassador, but I'm really happy that you say so. It's getting better every minute.
You came into Africa to help Africans. That makes you an ambassador.
Okay, so well, I'll go with the title. Thank you very much. I think we're just trying to make a difference, right? And it's common sense. So I'm more into digital literacy than literacy itself. I think literacy has been taken care of by a lot of things, and we're not all literate yet, but literacy is coming. But digital literacy is where we're kind of lacking things. And why? Because so far digital literacy has been a talk of it's an innate thing. So you're born with these skills, right? So you've got kids today that get a phone and then they do this, right? And that kind of blows up your screen. And so that makes them digital literate. They're born with this competency. Well, I don't know about your children or my children, but my children are definitely not innate digital literate, right? So it's something that you teach, just like you go to school. And if you don't get these competencies, if you don't manage to actually acquire these competencies, you're going to stay behind, right? So it's just like numeracy and like basic literacy. Digital literacy today is a life skill that you need to have to be able to function in the world. So that is kind of where we've come from, is what is going to make an impact? What will make the difference? And I think digital literacy today is one of the topics, and especially in this COVID period, right? We've all gone through this whole COVID period and everyone has been going to working from home. Okay, great, wonderful. But a lot of the people actually that are working from haven't got a clue what to do with a computer. So what do? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you very much for that submission. Now, Queen Nadia, over to you.
Yes.
You have recently visited Africa on some community projects in the educational sector where over 3,000 people welcomed you. Can you tell us about the occasion and your experience in Africa?
Yes, it was a wonderful experience. I am still moved by the welcoming of all these people, my children, my sisters, brothers, mothers and fathers there from Africa. It was a great moment. I was expecting 100 children. More than 3,000 people were waiting for me. It was just a a very big experience that you will never forget in your life. Yes, I went there just because at the beginning I has sent, you know, some kits for the children, for the school, in fact, the necessary for them. And then they sent me a video and they asked me if I can come to visit them. So, and they wanted my help to build for them a canteen and a stadium. And I said, why not? So I went there. So, and I said, I'm with you. Let's do it. I have seen a lot of children there where the canteen, they had nothing around them. They were sometimes eating outside and even under the rain. It was really, it was really painful for me. So I said, okay, let's do it. So I engaged myself to build these 2 canteens for them, the stadium, and to be their mother for the eternity. So it was really, really an amazing moment. And it was led by one of my brother there, Abdullah Diabate, who has organized everything, and my arrival there. And it was very difficult to speak about this moment because it's a really emotional moment. I can remember my children claiming my name with this. They were looking at me with hope, with passion, with love. This love that I received, it was just a tsunami of love. Wow.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Humanity.
Yeah, it was just yes,
very noble.
amazing.
It's a noble heart. You have to feel the pain of your fellow human being, irrespective of their race, continent they are from, and even their religion. So it's a very, very noble thing to have humanity at heart. Thank you so much. Ambassador Perrin, you have lived in several African countries and worked in education for more than a decade as a business and project development director, as well as a teacher and a lecturer. Kindly share your experiences in these different sectors.
We've lived in Angola, actually. Angola is one of these amazing places that you discover where people usually think that it's not great, right? And media hasn't been very tender on them. But it's an interesting environment, and I think it's one of the countries that will boom in the end, but has some troubles with transitions. And I think that is what we've discovered in lots of countries. I've worked in Nigeria actually quite a lot. Love actually going to Nigeria. So been doing lots of things in different countries. What I would say today is for Africa and coming back to where we are today and where we want to go, is Africa's issue is not so much of education, right? Africa is very much of how to get people to be educated, how to get to schools, how to get to the people, and what kind of content do you deliver. And especially if you look at the French-speaking African countries and the English-speaking African countries, the differences are they're big differences. So the English-speaking countries will concentrate a lot on vocational training still. French-speaking countries are just starting to get there. And vocational training is one of the key areas that we need to look at in Africa at the moment, to make sure that we can get the skills and the competencies that allow us to move forward and get out of this, what I call aid system, where you don't need aid today in Africa, you need partnerships. So it is about knowledge transfers and all that kind of stuff. So we're very much, or I'm very much into training people up, master trainers, knowledge transfers, and making sure that people are independent. So that is kind of my experience. And that goes from all over. I've worked in the Gambia, Nigeria, Liberia, Ghana, Zimbabwe, various areas, but all of the countries will need vocational training, a focus on vocational training. And the biggest area at the moment is sorting out the connectivity on the continent.
Now, do you see why I called you an ambassador? Are you not an ambassador?
She is.
Thank you very much. We can't wait to have you in Nigeria very soon. Queen Nadia.
Yes.
You serve on the board of some of the most influential institutions in the world, like the ADN, the First Lady Club, and others. Kindly share how your experiences in this organization has influenced your passion for humanity.
I want to say, first of all, that it's not, it's my passion for humanity who brought me to that, and not these companies who develop the passion of humanity, because humanity is something that you have within you. It cannot be taught. Or you have it or you don't have it. And in my case, I will not speak about passion. I will speak about love, because passion is ephemeral, but love is eternal. So yes, I am serving in a different organization. I am also, what you don't have in your document, that I am also ambassador at large for UN affairs at the international human rights. So I am defending also the rights of the human being. And I'm also arbitration judge at the Federal Court for Human Rights. And actually, I opened a new NGO called Success World One. And this new NGO is here to help not only Africa, but to make the unity of the people. Because actually, what is going on in this, in the universe, in the world, people are divided. People are selfish. They are thinking only to themselves. They cannot see that we are all together, that we are all free and equal all together. And I was saying that our freedom and our equality is confirmed by the red color of our blood flowing in our vein. This is very important to know it. So yes, I join all the NGOs and organizations who have the heart, who wants the unity, world peace. And this is my big fight. I really want to make the unity between people, to tell them that we are one family, one world. Let's be one voice in one body. And this is my message to them. This is why I joined them. And this is not by passion, but by love, unconditional love.
Yes, humanity is actually a religion, but most people don't know. We are carried away with the no religion. We don't know that religion is a central entity that keeps the human race, and humanity is the bigger picture. Without humanity, you can't even serve God. If you don't have the love of human at heart, if you don't treat fellow human beings as human beings, then we're only deceiving ourselves. Thank you, Queen Nadia, once again.
The problem, can I say one thing?
Of course you can.
Yeah, the problem, in fact, the big ignorance of humanity, that it is, they are identify themselves to a religion, like you said. They identify themselves to a body, a color, a skin, a religion. They don't understand that we are not this body, we are not this color, we are not this religion. We are life, we are spirit in the body, and not a body who has a spirit. We are the spirit. We are powerful. We have the love and light, because it's our source. So don't pay attention to religion or the color, or because they are not our identity, you know?
Yeah, on the other hand, if you have that idea, right, and you come to the state where we are today, right, which is a division of people, the divide in people and everything else, Isn't then the question is, why do we get to this stage? There's a book I read the other day, and I think it's called The Third Pillar or something. And it's about how government and the financial sector forget communities. So instead of having communities that actually bind together and try to communicate and do things together, like, okay, government is never going to build us a road here, right? So let's stick together and build the road together. No, what do? We wait for the government to do something, which is never going to happen, right? So there's this whole community area which is kind of lost on us, and which is not lost on Africa though. Africa still has that sense of belonging, that sense of family, that sense of extended family, which in the European countries we've lost very, very easily, actually. Right? So I think this whole idea of coming together and everything is great, but then how do you do that when communities are just actually just shooting at each other and telling them each other that they're not nice, not kind, not whatever. And that could be for religion, it's color, it's women and men, it is young and old at the moment, because COVID, you might say even COVID at the moment, right? What are we sacrificing at the moment is our younger generation, right? We have a young generation who's getting digital literacy. It's great, right? They're going to be absolutely amazing, digital literacy. But when you're a student,
that's where humanity comes to play, because it's a global issue. It's a global pandemic. So it does not look at race. It does not look at religion. It does not look at background. It's just striking, and it's hitting everybody and anybody. So that's why humanity should be the religion we as human beings on earth practice.
Yeah, but practically, how do you do that? Well,
like Nadia said.
Yes, I can intervene in that. If I see the COVID-19, sorry.
Humanity brought out the passions she has for joining all this organization, starting NGOs by herself. It was not because she wanted to go and showcase fashion. It's not because she wanted to showcase her education. It was the love for humanity, to see how many problems she can tackle as a person, as an organization, as an entity. So humanity actually should be our drive. Every sane adult in this pandemic should know that way forward is humanity. Humanity will help you help yourself. Humanity will help you look out for others around you, not just people around you, not just family, but you have to look beyond shore. Like both of you have traveled, lots of our program under Pan Africa, we've had you on them. You came and you showcased yourself. You spoke on issues that are nagging Africa. That is humanity, and it should be our drive. It should be what would take us to where we are going to after this pandemic, because we know of a surety pandemic is going to end, and it's going to end very soon. Now, Perrin, what's your idea for, like you said, you are a digital guru, and the world right about now has gone digital. Imagine me having a meeting all the way from Nigeria, you both are in France, and we're talking. That's digital. Because of pandemic, we cannot travel, we cannot do a lot of things, but digitally, we can still function. What is the idea of Digital Skin Foundation necessary? Why is it necessary in this point? Considering the history of Africa, how do you think we can push and keep pushing with digital skill?
I think there's a couple of things. I think one is it's education, right? So accessibility, to be access for education for all, right? And that includes girls, but also mothers. So education, digital education allows you to go larger scale, right? But there's a big but, and the but is called connectivity and devices, right? So not everyone has a device, and especially not everyone has got connectivity. So we're all talking that Africa is connected everywhere, but Africa is not connected everywhere, obviously. You've got a 2G, which covers a large part of the continent, but with 2G, you don't do e-learning, for example. You don't do digital education. There's just no way. So the whole challenge for Africa at this moment is to get connectivity sorted. But it's not only Africa, it's Asia as well. It's even here in France. We've just, we live on top of a mountain, and my 3 lovely children came home during the COVID period, which was really nice. And everyone had to work from home. And you know what? Connectivity just goes nowhere. Forget it. So,
Yeah.
so connectivity is not only an African issue, it's a worldwide issue. So the second thing is digital literacy, right? So it's nice that you say you provide digital education, but if you only provide digital education, we're not going to get there. You need to get digital literate. What do I mean with digital literacy? It means you understand productivity tools, Word, Access, Excel, presentations, on whatever shape or form, Google, Microsoft, whatever you do, it doesn't really matter. But it also means, how do you stay safe in a digital environment, right? If you're looking at harassment on social media is a real issue, but it's a real issue for kids, but it's a real issue for teachers. How do you manage that as a teacher? How do you, the biggest challenge I think is making sure that the competency development of teachers is getting there, so people actually, or teachers, are able to teach proper content and properly in a digital environment, which is not at all the same as teaching in a normal environment, a face-to-face environment, where you come across, when I see you in this case, okay, I see you on my screen and I see what you're thinking. But if you've got 30 kids in a classroom, all these little wonderful screens, you're never going to get there. So how do you make sure that teachers are digital competent? How do you make sure that content is evolving in a way that you keep engaging children into learning? Because when you learn, I'll give you an example, and I think you can probably think this through. If you learn something, right, the best way to do that is you learn something and then you click, or you do something, or you run, or whatever, but you do something which gives you neurological highways in a way in your head, right? So it kind of gives you a stamp and it says, I've learned something, it sticks to my head. And if you repeat things, then it actually sticks in the end. Well, that is something that in a digital environment is complicated to do, because people just turn off, because it's really annoying to sit in front of a camera the whole day or in front of a screen and to figure out how to go through it. So how do you create engaging content? Those kind of things are really challenging today. And that is why I think the environment in Africa is going to be focusing on. And I think the third one is probably, or the fourth one is financing. How do you make sure you get the financing sorted and the investment sorted for Africa and other parts of the world? It's not only Africa, but other parts of the world, to make sure that we have teacher trainers, we have devices for kids and for work. You have connectivity for everyone at an affordable rate, because yeah, you can have connectivity 4G in a lot of the countries in Africa. You just don't want to pay for them though, because that is going to be your whole salary. Okay, so there's different areas. There's investment, there's educational content, there's the digital connectivity. There's a big digital divide that is being created, and a digital divide will mean that people are going to be staying behind. Just like we've had before with normal literacy and numeracy, it's going to be the same story with digital literacy if we don't catch up. I don't know what you think, Nadia, on this one.
Yeah, I think, in fact, for education, yes, we need to concentrate on education, because the education is the base of everything. Mm-hmm. And peace education, not every education, because the actual system, educational system is not good and will collapse. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we need to focus in two things: peace education and financial education. What is peace education? When, for example, you have in some countries, the children grow up with this hatred, spirit, revenge spirit, etc. So they grow up in an atmosphere that is not good for them, okay? And peace education will give them the value to recognize who they are really. Who they are really. They are here, they are the heritage, they are the legacy of the nation. They are the future generation. If we as parents, we don't teach them the peace education, to tell them, hey, don't think that poverty is a fatality because you grow up in a poor country, so you will finish poor. I'm sorry. You have the possibility to change, because you are the spirit. And for the spirit, there's no impossible doesn't exist for the spirit. So we give them this trust, confidence. Peace education will bring them this to identify themselves to their real them, you know, to trust themselves, to be the best expression of themselves. See, actually, our system, even here in France, we have this system. People, they are graduated. They are graduated. They can't find a job. They are graduated. They can't find a job. This is true. You are living in France.
Yeah.
So actually, I can see also the people, they even don't want to go to school. Why? Because they are not teaching them the financial education. You know, they are not teaching them the right things. They are teaching them to become the best employees. So when you finish the school, you finish with the university, you have to find the biggest company that will give you the job. But if you don't have the experience, and it happened to us here in France and in Europe, in America, you don't have the experience, so they are not accepting you.
Yes.
So what happened to these people
in Nigeria?
Yes, it happened everywhere. So what happened to you? You are in depression. Our children are in depression. They don't want to go to school. They can't find a job, and they are in depression because the system of education is not good. We have to change this system. We need to teach them the financial education, the right financial education, which is...
What do you mean by financial education?
I will explain you what I mean by financial education. You can't find a job. Doesn't matter. Don't go and suicide, because some people, we have this problem also. And build your own job. We are teaching you how to become the best employee, but the financial education will teach you how to become the leader, your own leader.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I want for my children around the world, to understand that they are the master of their life. They have to be the best expression of themselves. And they need, okay, it doesn't matter. You can't find a job. It's okay. Create your job. Enjoy what you are doing. Today, the billionaires, they are billionaires for what? They are billionaires because they enjoy and they love what to do. The footballer, he is earning a lot of money because he loves what he's doing. So it is his baby, his passion, he's the best expression of himself. The one who has the biggest company, this is because he loves what he is doing. And this education is not taught in our universities,
Yes,
in our schools.
I think I understand perfectly what Queen Nadia is trying to say, Perrin. To teach these children in not just book, not just the curricula that the educational system gives, but to also imbibe in them cultures, skills acquisition, so that after school they can do stuff by themselves. They can actually employ themselves. You have to be your own employee. You have to give something to the society. You have to look around and ask, what does my society need?
That is basically what we call 21st century skills.
Yes. And that's where you come in, Perrin. This is the opportunity. Now that the world, everybody is on the digital air, everybody sees, like, people are watching us right now, and they will hear, they will see all over the world. We're not just in a classroom talking to 30 students. This is the world. The world is saying us, this is the digital environment that we are now, where you do something online and the whole world gets to see it. This is the time for us to teach large quantity of people at the same time. Like what Queen Nadia said, you have to be useful to yourself. You have to create things. You have to have creativity. It's not just, I read engineering, I am looking for a big engineering position in a big company. And when you come out fresh, No big a company wants to take you because they need somebody with experience to manage that position. But because you have it in you, you can actually show yourself. You can actually start making little machines for yourself, for your household, for your neighbor, for your brothers and your sisters, and it comes, you start earning money. That's the financial education Queen Nadia was trying to say.
Yes.
I understand. There's something to consider in there, and I think a couple of countries have been looking at that, is the link between industry and education. And I think France is lacking in that one. It's getting better. I have to say, it's getting better.
Yes, this is true.
It is, honestly, it is getting better. But the link towards education, very much in the French, I would say it's the Francophone countries in general, is we say knowledge is really important, right? So we might have a lot of psychologists, and of course everyone's gone to university, but we actually lack electricians, all those kind of skills. We just don't have them anymore. So those are skills that actually need to be evaluated. And those are the skills that we need to build a country. And several countries in Africa need those skills and don't have those skills. And that is why I came back earlier on vocational training. Vocational training needs to be revalued in a way. It needs to be valued as in a good way to step up, because actually a great plumber in France, right, makes a lot more than a wonderful psychologist, right?
Yes, you're right.
So those kind of things, but it's not only that. I think 21st century skills relate to problem solving, relate to analysis or analytical skills.
Word. Problem solving. You have to do something to solve a problem. You have to sell a quality service that will earn you money. While you're fixing problem, you're earning money. If everybody fixes everybody's problem, then the world will grow. And it will grow at the rate that you don't need one big company to hire your service, because most companies will not even value your time. They don't look at you individually. But when you are giving out first-hand service to an individual, this individual know what you have done, and this individual is reaping direct, we all know what it means. Vocational education is very paramount. And I think we should start building big schools, big organizations where people will actually come and acquire skill, not just to acquire the skills to work in a big organization, but to employ themselves to make money, to solve problems in their individual basis. I think the world would be a much better place if we do like that. Yes. Now, Perry, I have another question for you. We'll go on a break very shortly. In a quest to helping people around the globe to learn new digital skill and to strive and prosper in an increasing connected world, you organize the digital passport skills. Am I right?
The digital skills passport, yeah.
Yes. So how would you rate your achievement so far on that?
We're actually doing quite well. It's been an interesting journey. It's a 100-hour course, which is in different subjects, right? So you've got 10 subjects to pass. And in the end, it gives you an international certification, which gives you kind of a benchmark, right? So it allows you to say, okay, I have got the basic digital literacy skills to allow me to function just like your alphabet, you know how to read and write a book, right?
Yeah.
Or you do your basic math, you know how to calculate things. You don't have to be a math wizard, but you know how to calculate and you need to get by in that. This is the same. It gives you the basics to be able to be efficient, safe, and productive in a digital environment. And that therefore you can contribute to a global economy or a country economy or whatever. So that is where I've been focusing. We've been focusing very much on teachers. So we have a lot of teachers in Zimbabwe who have passed the certification. Why? Because teachers actually are training our next generation. So if we want to stay ahead and if we want to make sure that our next generations are up to speed, well, then we need to do development and competency development of our teachers to make sure that actually they can facilitate this. So that is where we've been focusing a lot. We're talking a lot of the countries that we're working with at the moment have big issues in terms of civil servants. Okay, so civil servants have during the COVID situation have all been sent home and they all need to work from home, which is great. But if you can't work digitally, it's a bit of an issue.
Yes.
So how do you train and how do you skill all these people to make sure that they all become digital literate in a kind of a short span? So it's been interesting.
That's why the phrase "training the trainer" has come to stay. It's quite being used very often. So it's a very good one, and I hope you'd get to Nigeria too and do something for our teachers, because as an ambassador, you have to go around the globe. Yes, I'm soliciting.
Yeah.
Stick to the ambassador.
And she's doing
have a
great
queen
job.
and you've got an ambassador in front of you. Lucky you.
We'll be happy to have you. Queen Nadia, back to you. You are deeply passionate about the need to empower children and young adults, who obviously form the future of every nation, the world at large. In what way are you achieving this in Africa right about now, considering this present pandemic situation? How are you doing with your empowerment of children and the young adults?
First of all, the children are the sacred fruit of a nation. We really need to take care of them, and we really need to give them a proper education. And what I am doing with them, I am giving them trust in them. Trust yourself. Because a lot of people are lost. Our children today are lost. Why? Because we, as parents, we are also lost. Okay? So we need to give them this trust in themselves, and to tell them, you need to accept the change if you want change to come in your life. Open your heart, open your mind. Don't accept only let's say, the relative knowledge. Develop the absolute knowledge. I will tell you what is the difference between the relative knowledge and the absolute knowledge. Relative knowledge is what you are learning in the books, what a teacher is giving you, what you are learning from the teacher. Okay? It is the relative knowledge. Okay, you are repeating exactly what you are doing. It happened also in religion, and it is catastrophic because some ignorant are teaching the ignorant. Okay, so what you will collect after that? Ignorant people. But when you have the absolute knowledge, yes, you are receiving your teaching. You read in the books, but make your own experience. If, for example, I tell you, okay, there's, you want to drive a car. I explain you how to drive a car. You will understand how to drive a car only when you will yourself drive the car. Okay? Yeah. So this is the absolute knowledge. This is the absolute knowledge. And I encourage them to go to the absolute knowledge. Okay? Don't trust what we are telling you, because the old system doesn't work anymore. The mentality has evolved. We cannot teach what we have taught before yesterday years. No, we need really to reform the educational system, because everything starts from that. Mm-hmm. Peace starts from that. Everything. And this is what I am doing with the children. Even our teaching are changing. Trust yourself first. Be the expression of yourself. You are already creator. Go deeper inside of you and reveal the best yourself, the best version of yourself. Okay? You know, there is some problem also, this financial problem. We have the children, they want to receive a very high teaching, but unfortunately the financial situation doesn't permit it. This is why what we are doing, we are with the Rockfield College of Science and Technology, where I am pro-chancellor. We are giving also a teaching online. And a lot of people around us, we are inviting them to sponsor these children. This is what we are doing. It means that we are giving free, high quality education to the people, thanks to our sponsors. And we are making also a partnership with different universities in Africa, in Asia, just to exchange our also program and give them the chance to receive the same teaching that we are receiving here. Why? Because I have seen that where some people are coming from Africa and they want to make some experience. I have seen that also with one lady from Tunisia. She is a big doctor in her country. When she came here, they told her, you don't have the level. You need to study 2 years more. And what happened? So I want to give them the same level, to exchange the program with other universities in Africa. It will give them the opportunity to receive the same degree than Europe. Okay, so then it will be recognized everywhere. Their degree will be recognized everywhere. This is very important.
That's quite a great job.
Yes.
And I must commend you, because you have done a whole lot, and there is still more to do, especially in the partnership you talked about. But we'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll see on how we can tackle this sponsorship you said, because one person, one organization, one country can possibly handle the progress we as a world, we as African, we the people in the Europe and in Asia, we need a force to drive. We need a force to take the global world to the stage we want them to be. We'll take a short break. We'll be back very soon. Sit back, relax.